hi there. I don't know. I was making a video and I realized I wasn't recording. So anyway, I just came for a drive, and I'm just so fucking lucky that I live so close to the forest. Do you call it a forest? I don't fucking know. But where there are beautiful lakes and beautiful trees, and this is where I feel the best, is when I am in nature. By far the best when I'm in nature. And it's getting me, I'm really reflecting on, I've really been reflecting a lot on my life lately. And I just drove past this spot that always brings back memories for me of when I literally just fucking threw caution into the wind and rented a tiny little cabin in the woods after my first cancer journey. And after I rang the bell at the cancer clinic, meaning all my treatments were done, I realized that I was fucked. I was fucked financially. I was fucked emotionally. I was fucked spiritually, physically, mentally. I was just a fucking mess. I was a broken fucking mess. I had just gone through divorce. I had these two beautiful little kids, a lot of addictive behaviors. And, when you ring the bell at the cancer clinic, that's a wonderful thing because your treatments are done, but then you're just set free. You're like on your own, all alone. Nobody's checking up on you. You don't have doctors. You don't have nurses. Your family, everybody just goes back to normal. They stay normal, through your journey. Like I was very, very alone. I was very alone on my journey. Anyway, I was then diagnosed with severe depression and severe anxiety. And I was just not in a good place. I just knew that it was time to fucking do the work. And so I did. And what happened was I was so financially broke that I knew that I was going to have to sell my house. But the problem was houses were not selling. So I had this home with equity that I, had from my divorce. But like I said, nobody was buying houses at that time. And I realized that the only time that I didn't feel like taking my own life was when I was in nature. I can't remember if I said that or not. And so God showed me, like I really truly believe that there's a divine mother and divine father in charge of everything that goes on in our lives. And I saw this ad for this little tiny cabin that was for rent, and I was like, but how can I afford to do that when my house hasn't sold yet? And this voice just kept getting stronger and stronger, and I realized that was a tiny little cabin that I used to walk by all the time because that was my favorite campground. It was at the lake where my favorite campground was. It was right beside it. And I used to be so sad at the end of the season because I used to take my kids camping there all the time. And I would walk past that little cabin crying because I was so sad that the season was done. And here that little tiny cabin was for rent. And I was just like, you know what? It's either rent this cabin or fear for my mental health, right? And so I just took the leap and I rented the cabin. And weirdly enough, 2 days later, my fucking house sold. And I shouldn't say weirdly, it's a fucking miracle. God told me to move, and God provided the money for me, because when my house sold, it meant I had equity to live off of for a few years. Anyway, I remember moving all my stuff to the lake and to this tiny little cabin. And I was so excited, so excited. It was like fucking dream come true to live at the lake, at my favorite campground yet. It was fucking right across the street from my favorite campground. I was so excited and so happy. And then I was driving up here at night, it's a road up north in the middle of nowhere. And during the summer it's a very, very busy place, but in the fall and winter there's nobody there. And I was driving on this curve and I was like, what the fuck did I do? Like, what the fuck did I do? There's nobody up here. I'm all alone. And the fear just fucking washed over me. Like, did I make a big mistake? Is this gonna fucking work out? Holy shit. Like, it was just this holy shit, what the fuck moment. And it ended up being the most beautiful experience. Like, from September to June or May, I literally or the end of May, I had that fucking campground to myself, which meant I went walking every day. I went cross-country skiing. I fucking healed my severe depression and severe anxiety by sitting with my feelings and my thoughts and speaking to God, whatever it was at the time. There was always a higher power that I was connecting with, and I wrote books. And then COVID hit, which meant I didn't give a fuck that we were locked out of everything because I was living at the lake. Like, I didn't care. I cared, but I didn't. It was like, it was beautiful. And there was such a purpose in me being there. I had deer on my deck every morning. I had bunnies coming to eat. Like, it was just, I literally felt like Snow fucking White. It all worked out. And had I not taken that leap, I don't know, would I have ever healed the depression and anxiety? I'm not sure. And then, right, like when I was living there, I was meditating and heard this voice telling me, first of all, to go get my breasts checked out. And I was like, well, that's fucking crazy. The next day, God told me there was a voice inside that said, go to the doctor and get checked. And I had very fast moving and aggressive form of triple negative breast cancer. So had I not healed the depression and anxiety after my first cancer journey, I don't know what I would have done, because I was then told I needed 16 fucking rounds of chemo, these surgeries, when 3 rounds of chemo almost killed me. So it was like, what the actual fuck? But I didn't get depressed and I didn't get anxious. I felt sad and I felt stressed, but it wasn't debilitating. Like, I made it through with such an open heart and an open mind because I had done the healing, because I listened and I took that leap, even though it was scary. And I'm speaking about this because I'm in the middle of another fucking leap right now. And the leap is believing in myself and following through with these business ideas that I have, that I've been working on for almost 19 fucking years. And it's like, do I spend the money that I do not have and see this through, or do I stop? And as I just said that, it's like, giving up is not an option. It never has been for me. That was my motto through my cancer journeys. After my mom died, it was always never, ever, ever fucking give up on yourself. Never give up. And so now I'm at this point where, I've been working on a system, a way to help people heal their fears so that they can live a more fuller, peaceful, joyful life. And healing always seemed very hard to me, but the more I'm experiencing this, the more I see that healing is easy. Not easy. It's simple. It's work. It's work, but it's so, it can be very effortless when done well. And I feel like I have found these beautiful these beautiful ways of healing that are so gentle yet so fucking powerful. It is the feminine way. It's because I'm embodying this feminine, loving strength. And that's how this is turning out. And so my question was, do I fucking do this? And my answer is abso-fucking-lutely yes.